guys, welcome back to the Kind of an Expert podcast, the only podcast where the guest picks the topic of every single episode. My name is Corey Tyndall, and I am your host. And this week, I sat down with New York City comedian May Planert to talk about reality TV show culture. So in line with what we talked about in the last 3 episodes, we want to sit down and specifically talk about reality show culture as it came into America, the ethics of these reality TV shows, but then also getting into each one, the inner workings, the ins and outs. How do they set them up? How much is scripted versus how much is actually reality? So even if you're not a big fan of reality TV show, I think this episode was still incredibly interesting. It was a lot of fun. I think you're going to like it. You can follow May at May_Planert on Instagram and go see her show every Saturday at 5:30 at the Tiny Cupboard, and check out her podcast, Risque Business News, with other comedian Laura Sogar. And as always, follow me on all social media at Corey T Comedy. And if you're in New York City, come to a comedy show every single week at Ferns. With that, let's get into the episode. Got back from protesting the Trump indictment?
Yeah, you know me. Wait, there's actually a really funny story about that. So my husband, Mark, who some people, I don't know if people are listening to this might know, but my husband, Mark, is another comedian, and he does this impression of a police officer called it's Chief Queef.
Sure.
Have you seen this?
No.
Okay, basically it's like a character that he does. And so he's like, wouldn't it be so funny if I go down there as Chief Queef and interview people on both sides or try whatever. Impersonate a police officer, which is a fucking it's a crime, basically.
All right. I can't imagine he actually looks like a cop, right? Wouldn't he just have a jacket and a little hat from the 70s or some shit?
Well, yeah, he looks like he just went to Party City. So
yeah, okay.
But you know what's interesting is, and also this is a rule because when he said he was doing this, I was like, I think that's genuinely dangerous. You might actually get arrested for that. And he was
I was tempted to go down there because it's only it's very close here. It's 4 stops.
It's a content farm. Are you kidding me? It's amazing.
I was like, I just kind of want to see what happens. I was that could be the start of the war. I'm gonna chill. If it makes it up here, I'll go on a roof or something and watch it. But
so he had a camera crew following him around, and apparently, if you have a camera on you, then it just it ex-nays all of the laws about impersonating an officer. So he was fine to impersonate an officer as long as it was clear it was for entertainment value.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
He talked to some cop about it.
What else can you do if you have a camera?
I know, right? Just have public sex.
Prostitution, yeah. Prostitution versus porn, that's literally it. You got a camera on you.
That's true.
Shit, I'm going to start walking around with a camera.
He goes down there. And he comes back from this thing, and I was like, how was it? And he was like, oh, man, it was depressing. He was like, people are angry. He was like, it was the craziest fucking scene. And he goes, both sides are insane. He was like, the MAGA people, obviously insane. And he was like, but then the people that go down there to protest the MAGA people, they're way too into it, too. He was like, and there was this one girl, she was screaming at me. And she was probably in her 40s with blonde hair, and I was like, I think I know that girl. And he was like, May, there's 9 million people that live in this city.
Yeah.
There's no way you know this girl. And I was like, no. So I read a book. This is ridiculous. So I read a book last year called How to Murder Your Life by Kat Marnell. So Kat Marnell was a party girl in the 2010s. And she was famously a drug addict, whatever. She wrote a book about her experiences, which very good book, by the way. And then I became obsessed with this girl, Kat Marnell. And then I was so obsessed with her that I found her sister on TikTok. And her sister, Emily Marnell, her whole TikTok is her going around screaming at people. She's mentally ill.
Okay.
And she's lost her kids. She's got a court case coming up in April, by the way. I know about all this. So
for what? What did she do?
She's trying to get her custody back of her children.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
right. I was she didn't kill the kids.
No.
Okay.
But she goes around and she screams at people. And it's always this very sanctimonious thing. She's somebody who still wears a mask, even though people haven't been doing that in a long time. And
I don't know why that makes me so
I know,
mad. When I see someone with a mask on outside, or you walk into a certain store. I walked into a store that specializes in candles and oils, and they're all wearing masks. I was like, you
what
people
are we doing
suck.
Here? You just want to tell them
candles though.
Yeah. You just want to tell them get a new show. You know what I mean? The show's over.
Yeah.
Season finale is wrapped. Okay.
Yeah.
We're moving on.
That's a good
Get a new show. But anyway, so this fucking girl. She's known to be crazy. So then she posts on today. I saw that she posted on her story, Mark, and she was like, fuck you. I was like screaming at him. And I was like, Mark, it was her. And he was like, I cannot believe that by the description of like blonde, probably in her 40s, you knew exactly who it was. And I was like, yes. And he was like, is she some sort of like celebrity? I was like, no, she has 2,000 Instagram followers. I'm just obsessed with her sister. Isn't that the wildest story you've ever heard?
That is insane.
I was like, that's crazy that I knew it was her without even being there. Like the universe, it just brings people I'm obsessed with to Mark.
Yeah, people are worried about like China stealing our data or whatever, and it's like, yeah, but they kind of put it out there. Like you were able to figure out where this woman would be just from like looking at her Instagram. It's like, pretty, I don't know. It's pretty inconsequential if someone else has it. You're putting it out there.
That's true.
I don't know.
I kind of low-key do think that TikTok should be banned, though. Sorry, everybody.
No, yeah, it totally should.
It totally should.
I'll put this on TikTok and it'll do nothing. Nobody will. No, anything against TikTok does not do well on TikTok.
So true.
Intentionally.
It's also funny how there's people that are, the same people that are like, oh, like Twitter, affected the elections and blah 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 and whatever, which is completely fucking true. They're like, oh, you want to take away my TikTok? Like that's stupid. I'm like, are you guys for real? Like it's way worse and more like insidious than the Twitter was.
Yeah,
the Twitter. Look at me, I'm a boomer.
I literally just wrote a bit about it. I'm gonna start trying it on stage, but like TikTok has essentially turned, like TikTok is scratch off lottery tickets for fame.
Yeah,
it's just like everyone who's on it and loves it is exactly like the people that used to come into the gas station I worked at, buy like 45 fucking tickets, and they're like, well, one of these will get, and then they get that little bit of a hit where they're like, oh, that one got 5,000 views. Oh my God, I fucking need it. They're like, don't take away my scratchies. Like, I need these. This is how I'm going to be famous.
That's so true.
I was like, no, they're addicted to it like it's a lottery. And the prize instead of money is just fame. TikTok invented a fame lottery.
They did.
Which is fucking awesome. And I need to figure out how to get it into a bit, but
I mean, that's,
like,
you're definitely onto something because that's so true. It's like and then people have these giant egos.
Yeah.
By the way, I do not post on TikTok at all just because of laziness and I don't want to learn a new app. No, no sanctimonious reason. I'm just lazy as fuck.
And you have a blue check on Instagram. Why would you go to TikTok?
That I famously paid for. But
did you pay for it?
Yeah.
I thought you didn't pay for it. I thought they offered it to you.
They did offer it to me.
You were just the first person they offered it to.
Yeah.
Okay. Because there was another person that got the blue check, and my buddy was like, how the fuck did this guy get the blue check?
Yep.
It's like they're just giving them out to people before they give it to the rest
of
us.
They are. Exactly. It does make sense, obviously, for their business model, number one, to be having people pay for blue checks, but also like people get hacked so frequently that even if I wasn't trying to be a comic or whatever, I'd be like, I just don't want to lose my Instagram.
Yeah.
So I'll just be a blue check.
You get more support. There are like actual benefits to it.
Yeah.
There is like because part of the benefit now is that they're going to push people with the blue check more in Reels.
Oh, really?
But the argument against it is like, well, okay, it's making Instagram pay to play, which does kind of suck. But I don't know if like people have noticed, but Reels kind of sucks. Because there's so much bullshit on it. Yeah. Like TikTok has a much stronger algorithm and just like kills 99.999% of videos that are posted, where like Reels is like, fucking throw it up there. It's a still photo of a dog looking weird, like put it on Reels. I don't care that it's 20 seconds long. Like they're gonna do it. So it's like, no, we kind of need something to separate quality here. Or like get to know you a little bit better. Like my TikTok is a little scary. Sometimes I look at my TikTok and I'm like, what's this say about me? Yeah, right. Because some of the like I log into TikTok and it's just like trans people aren't what. I'm like, oh boy. I'm like, why does my phone think I want it? Well, it's because you're married to Mark. Maybe. So it's like, oh, we remember that Wi-Fi going onto TikTok. They want anti everything. That's actually probably true, because I feel like his YouTube is just like, he's just watching all the talking heads. Cesspool, dude. Yeah. I want to get back to that blonde lady that was at the protest though, because it kind of goes into what we were talking about. It's like, I kind of think it all stems from reality TV culture. A little bit, which is just like, oh, I need to get my fame, and I'm going to go out there and I'm going to do these crazy things to do it. And it seems like she's legitimately got something going on. Oh, yeah, she's mentally, crazy. Yeah. But also, like we've kind of enabled her. Like it used to be that woman would just go to the park and yell, and everyone would just kind of have their headphones on and be like, oh, look at this crazy lady. But now like she's going to historical events and including herself in historical events, because then she'll show up in a video that gets like reposted on the news potentially. Depending
it's insane.
And it's, I don't know. Do you trace that back to reality TV? Or are you like, nah, this would have happened anyway? Sort
of, well, because with her specifically, she's just like a random girl that I found on TikTok.
Sure.
But I think like, I mean, her sister is definitely more in the limelight than she is. And I think that there would be an amazing reality TV show. Bravo, Andy, if you're listening. I know you tune in every week to this podcast.
Yep.
But
he is our only listener.
He's the only listener is Bravo, Andy. Wow. But I think that like Kat Marnell, Julia Fox, all of the like downtown, like Anna Delvey, all those like downtown little like club rat types people, like you should do some sort of like reality TV show about that. I think that would be like just like retired club rats. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That would be really fun.
I mean, are they doing anything interesting now?
As far as I know, on their social media, it just seems like they're like going to Barry's because they're all sober now.
Oh, gross! I don't know if I want that to be. Who would watch that show?
That's true.
The book sounds interesting.
Oh, the book was fantastic.
Check that out. I love a book of someone who's like had this crazy life and then recovered.
Yeah. Me too.
Did you read Dirtbag Massachusetts?
No.
Okay,
that is right up my alley.
Isaac Fitzgerald, very good book. I might have talked about it on here before, I don't remember, but he's had this insane life where he grew up super poor in Massachusetts and then won like this lottery to go to a really fancy school. So he was like, his family was a piece of shit, but then his upbringing was also like very high class. So he kind of walked between the worlds, and he did like crazy shit, like smuggle medicine into Laos. And then he was a porn star for a second for like kink.com back when it's just this wild story. Now he works for Good Morning America. You're like, okay, guy, and it was such a good book. Highly recommend.
Okay, I'll check it out.
But yeah, you read that, and then I'll text you that one, and then you text me the one with
Kat Marnell.
Yes, Kat Marnell.
Also, have you read Matthew Perry's book?
No.
It's very good.
Okay.
Yeah, it's really good.
He's the Friends guy.
He's the Friends guy.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's obviously, famously was addicted to drugs for a really long time.
Sure.
So it was, and he looks, I've actually been interested now. I've been like looking like, like Matthew Perry season 1, season 2, season 3 to like see like how he gets like fat, then he gets skinny, then he gets fat, then he gets skinny. You know what I mean? And I'm like, this is crazy.
I do that, and I'm not on drugs, so I don't know why we need to glorify him so much.
But I think, the podcast was supposed to originally be about reality TV, so maybe we can talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, right. Let
me ask you this: do you watch any reality TV?
I used to watch Survivor.
Okay.
And people who've listened to every episode know that we've done an episode on reality TV. That was more just going through like the different types of reality TV. This, like on this one, I think we're going to talk more about like culture and how like we got to this point. So growing up, I really only watched Survivor. I was never super interested in reality TV. Except for sports, which I do consider man reality TV.
I agree.
It's the same fucking thing. It's just like, I want to see someone live a life that I would like to have.
True. Yeah. Yeah. And like, I feel like now, like speaking of the culture around it, unless I was just young and I didn't fucking know, but I feel like now we know a lot more about those athletes' personal lives. Like that's part of their brands. Like usually they're beating their wives in fucking.
Not as much anymore, but like if there was around in the 90s, there'd be a lot of clips. They probably would have just shown it.
Yeah. And they would be like, she deserved it.
Yeah, exactly.
She probably didn't make his fucking dinner on time.
Right.
You know what I mean?
He's a millionaire. She should do what he wants.
Yeah, exactly. Be a part of the harem and clip it. Go ahead, clip it. Be a part of the harem and be fucking happy about it. R. Kelly's victims. But I do think like before it used to just be okay, whatever. And like you see that also with comedy and how the reality stars in a very vague way are sort of affecting that as well, because it used to be that a comedian would just go up, do their act, and that's what people knew about them. They put out this very curated part of their lives, and then that was it. Where now it's like people want to know what they think. They want to know what their social takes are and all this shit. And it's like, I don't know. It's impossible to just do the job of being a stand-up and have like a private life. People aren't interested in that. They want to know. They want to know about who you are as a person, which is freaky.
And they do the deep dive. They don't want to know who you are as a person. They want to know what you had for breakfast 10 years ago.
Yeah.
They're like, they want to know every single thing about like the new comic that people are doing that to is Shane Gillis. Like I know his fans are just like, oh man, it's like, or other comics are like, oh yeah, he was up there at this and we did this and then all this, and they're so excited. I was like, he's just a fucking guy. Like he is funny.
He's very funny.
Super funny.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan. I'm not going to stalk him. I don't know where he lives. I'm not.
People will though. This is how paranoid I am, and I'm not saying like obviously Mark is like, well known in the comedy world. Yeah. Like outside of comedy.
My dad doesn't know who he is.
Right. Nobody has any idea who he is. But like, I'm so paranoid about things that like, I'm careful about what I like on social media.
Yeah.
Because I don't want like him to get canceled and some fucking psycho, some like Emily Marnell psycho go through all the likes that I have and be like, she liked this and that means that they think this, and you know what I mean? And I'm like, whoa, like you gotta be
whoa, that means I like this.
yeah, exactly. But you know what I'm saying? Like people are fucking crazy. Like,
well, isn't that kind of a pushback to the reality TV like fame trend that we have? Because just as many people, it seems like for every person that started to like someone like Kim Kardashian or one of the big reality TV stars, they would gain 2 people that didn't like them. Right. And it just kind of went up exponentially with the fame in and of itself. And I'm kind of like, I guess the question is, why do they hate them?
I don't know.
I don't know that they've done anything wrong per se.
Right.
Like, I mean, Kim Kardashian married Kanye West, which is questionable, but other than that, she got a fucking law degree, and she just, I don't know.
She like freed some prisoners and shit. Yeah. She's done some cool things.
Like on a net, I feel like she's a pretty good person, but if you were to ask, if you were to do like a man on the street thing, I bet you'd get thousands of people that were like, no, I hate her.
Well, it
like,
just becomes, it becomes like in vogue to hate her. It becomes like this thing, and I actually, with the Kardashians in particular, it became in vogue. It became like the cool soundbite to be like, oh, I think they're stupid. I think this, whatever. And it's like, you might not enjoy the show, but to call Kim Kardashian an idiot is just fucking not true. Yeah. She is brilliant. Like, she knows what the hell she's doing. She knows exactly how to like make the media circus tick. Like, she's really fucking smart in a lot of ways. And to say that she's an idiot is being an idiot.
Sure.
So, but yeah, I mean, for me, I never really got into the Kardashians. I like more like everyday people kind of stuff. Okay. Like I love season 1 of every show. And then once they get the fame monster and they get the implants and they get the fake lips, I'm like, this is too like rehearsed and choreographed for me. Like, like my gateway drug to reality TV.
Bret Michaels' Rock of Love Bus.
Oh my God. No. Yes. I fucking loved that.
I used to have to watch that show.
Were you dating someone at the time or something like that?
I would
for
babysit.
Research, like,
I would babysit this kid when I was in high school, and it was back in the day that a DVR, you could only record one thing, and you couldn't watch anything else while it was recording. And so I would have to, it'd be like, it would come on the TV and I couldn't change the channel. Yeah. It was before I had like a computer or like a phone to play on. So I just have to watch Rock of Love Bus at the age of like fucking 13. And I was like, what? These bimbos are out of there.
It's
like,
so good.
The thing burned into my brain is one of the women
Pumpkin
falling on her. I don't remember the name. Falling on her face and exploding her fake tit while ice skating. That is burned into my brain for the rest of my life. That was a scene in the show.
That's dangerous. Did you go to the hospital?
I don't know. I don't remember what happened before or what happened after, but I was like, what the fuck is this?
You were like, this
Why
is
some lady recording this?
The best TV show I've ever fucking seen. No, my gateway, so I loved Rock of Love. Okay. Loved it. Also Flavor Flav's, whatever that
House
was called.
Horrors,
yeah. Sluts. Oh, Pumpkin was on Flavor Flav's. Never mind. Getting them mixed up.
You
Look
can
at me.
Tell me literally anything, I'm going to believe it.
And I call myself an expert. Yeah. But no, I loved Wife Swap. You ever seen that one?
I know of it. I've seen like clips, and that is kind of the fun part about TikTok now is like the best clips from those shows. Oh, yeah. I have seen them.
Rewatching, so I'm like low-key rewatching Teen Mom as well. Did you watch Teen Mom?
No.
Oh my God. You have so much great TV to catch up on, I gotta tell you. But so
wow. Great is a strong word for
there's this girl on TikTok, and her whole like TikTok account is recapping all these seasons from Teen Mom. So she'll be like if I was a teen mom, it would be like, we're doing May's timeline, and it would be like, we meet May, she's this, whatever, and then she, runs off with Ryan, and Ryan cheats on her. Ryan has an opioid fucking problem, and
Ryan's 12 years old by this
yeah,
point.
exactly. Ryan drives his pickup truck off the road because he's been drinking, or whatever.
Yeah.
And so she goes into like this whole thing, and like you realize like at the time, I think like maybe I was just like younger and like dumber or whatever the fuck, but at the time I was like watching these shows and I was like, whoa, that's crazy. He has a pill problem. Wow, this is really entertaining. And then like now, like going through these recaps, I'm like, damn, this show was dark.
Yeah, right.
Like, holy fuck. Like, this is like terrifying. And so one of the things that I actually dated a guy for a little while that and by date I mean literally he used me for sex every once in a blue moon, and we had and we hung out, shout out to Mike, but he was a great guy. It was a lot of fun.
Sure.
Anyway, he was a film guy for Teen Mom.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he would go away for like a month or whatever, at least he told me, to go, that's what he said, to go like record these women in like South Carolina or whatever. And I'm like, and I was like, that's so crazy that you're watching somebody like with their kids like nodding off on their couch, and you're like not able to call CPS. Like you just sit there and film.
Yeah.
It's weird.
It would be weird.
Really weird to be like, there's like a baby here, and this mom is like, thank God the producers are here, but like, are we gonna do something? Are we gonna call somebody? Like, what are we doing here?
What is the legality of that?
I don't know.
Like documentary film.
Yeah.
People that like go to war-torn Africa.
Right.
They're just like just watching.
Crazy.
Or like the Planet Earth people just watching animals die of thirst. It's like, all right, well, fuck him, I guess.
Yeah. Maybe it's like Survivor, where when they cut it, they just bring over the lion a cup of water.
That's what I was. Yeah. I don't know.
Oh, another one.
You really blew me away. I don't know how to respond to that.
Yeah.
That would be
really awkward.
Really difficult.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Is that even like, I don't know, is that good for society? Because I feel like it kind of trickles down to the people watching, right?
Right.
Like, I don't think many people watch Teen Mom and then we're like, we need to vote in for more healthcare and like health benefits for these people. They were just like watching from a fascination standpoint.
Absolutely. Well, also one thing that's really sick, and this is completely conjecture. I don't know if any of this is true whatsoever, but I do have to wonder. Like these girls were becoming celebrities, and they were, they were getting deals, they were doing all these things, because they were teen moms, and so you do have to wonder in the later seasons, like, did some of these girls, maybe they got pregnant on purpose, maybe they didn't, but like they obviously like contacted the show and was like, I'm 16 and pregnant, pick me. Yeah, right. So I'm like, it's fucking weird.
Yeah, that would be bad.
Yeah, it's not great.
Great episode. We're just gonna dissect every reality TV show until we go, wow. We're fucked. We are having issues in this country.
Yes, we are. There was what was the other one that I was gonna say? Intervention also was very fucked.
Yes.
Yeah.
That one I think we can all agree with, and I think that's why people watched it.
Right.
Same with like my 800-pound life, or like, because you get the like John and Kate +8, and you're like, well, all right, that was unfortunate. Let's make some money off of it. But then it's, should we be doing that?
Right.
Like, should we be filming these people? On the one hand, it's kind of like, sure, why not?
Right.
Like, there were plenty of so my, I've used this as an example before, but my dad used to teach at a high school for pregnant women.
Oh wow.
So, if any of the women in the city that we were in the school district got pregnant, they would transfer to the school because the school had a daycare in the school. So they could theoretically go there. And so just like from what he said, it's a lot of the women were just so undereducated that they didn't know they could get pregnant from sex. What? They would be asked, how did you get pregnant? And they're like, they don't know. And then they wouldn't even say God. They would just say like, I don't know. It just, I did all, and they're like, well, did you have sex? And they're like, yeah, with that guy. It's like, okay. And they're like, wait, that's what did it? And so it's kind of like, it's kind of the argument for it is these girls, they might not have known, but then people getting pregnant on purpose.
Maybe.
But at the same time, it's like, I don't know. You think about football, very violent. Nobody has a good life afterwards.
Right.
Unless they're
right.
like rich.
Yeah.
Most NFL players are
even
out of the
then, they're
league
gonna
by
shoot
22
somebody.
or 23. They've got, they're
Aaron
like.
Hernandez or whatever.
Well.
Yeah.
Wait,
and they're all like. No,
they're every single
one.
tight end. Only the tight ends are like this. We're asking like young men to destroy their bodies with the hope that they would get paid a shitload of money, and then they don't, and then they don't have insurance, and then they lose all the money by the age of 23. They have no skills, nothing. It's like, can we legitimately ask people to do that? It's kind of in the same boat in my mind.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think that's wild. And I would never let my kid play football. That's my radical stance. Would you?
I don't know.
Maybe if the rules changed, that it was less head-to-head or something.
My kid would be too much of a pussy.
Okay.
It's like
you're like, sorry, I don't see this being an issue.
No, my family's very artsy. We all try football, and then we realize we don't like being like touched.
Yeah,
and it's like a big part of football.
Yeah.
So we played tennis like fucking fairies.
Okay.
Tennis and soccer, but it was like fine. My knees suck, but that's not too bad.
Right. Yeah. No, it is definitely. I mean, also a part of you wonders, like, when you're watching reality TV, like how much of it would like happen anyway, and how much of it are they like hamming it up? Like there's another TLC show called 1,000 Pound Sisters. Have you seen this one?
No.
So,
God damn it!
I forget who it is. I really wish I could credit this comic because it's so funny, but I don't remember who it is. But they have a joke where they go, "I'm watching this 1,000 Pound Sisters show." So like, but it's really uneven. Like there's one of them that's like 600 pounds, and then there's the hot one. And like, that is so fucking funny.
God damn it, that's
I don't know who told that joke, but it's not mine. It's someone else's. Very funny.
I mean, I'm not going to lie. If I was 600 pounds and my younger brother was like 350, I'd be like,
bitch,
get it up there.
Yeah.
Come on, dude.
Yeah.
What are you doing? We could make something out of this.
Like,
if we're already going to be miserable.
Here.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I'm carrying all the weight around here. But, that's funny.
But yeah, like watch this fucking show, and Tammy, who's the bigger one of the two sisters, like she's in and out of rehabs and stuff, and like she just can't get her shit. I mean, I don't know if she has yet, but like she just can't seem to get her shit together. And I'm like, I wonder if someone is kind of encouraging her, like, if you get better, there's no show. Yeah. You know what I mean? I don't know.
That would be
or like in the back
sickening.
of her mind. I know. Because like she's straight up gonna die if she continues living like that. You know what I mean?
So how does that one in your mind, like, because I don't want to say exploitative because I don't know if they are. Like, obviously they're getting paid. It's a job. But then you've got shows like The Biggest Loser.
Yeah.
Where they're like trying to help them lose weight.
Right.
But then everyone afterwards gains it right back because they did it in this like unsustainable way. Right. So it's kind of like, okay, is it better? Like they're using over people who are severely overweight for this TV show, but they're like, I guess, disguising it in a different, like they're framing it differently. I don't know. Is that different in your mind, or is it pretty much the...
I mean, I like the ones, like, at least with that one, they're trying to like at least appear like they're trying to give them help. Sure. So they give them access to doctors and all this stuff. Like, you know that Dr. Now guy who's like a savage? No. He's the guy from 600 Pound Life, and then people are always like, I need to eat, and like the food in the hospital's bad. He's like, you do not need to eat for 4 years. he's like, you have storage for 4 years, full years. Okay? Like, and so
how long would they last?
According to Dr. Now, 4 years.
I can't, like, but actually, like, if they just drank water for like a month, I mean, their organs are probably shut down, right?
Yeah. I think that. Well, I don't know. I have no idea.
I don't know.
I mean, genuinely, I don't know. But
I know whales can go a long time. The animal. Okay. Yeah. That's what it's for.
That is what it's for. That's true. You're right. I have absolutely no idea, but yeah, it is under the guise of that, and like obviously intervention. Towards the end, those addicts had to know they were on intervention.
Yeah.
Come on,
yeah,
you know?
It's a good point.
Yeah,
or like cops.
Right.
Did they pay the people in Cops, you think?
I doubt it. I highly doubt it.
That would be hilarious.
Yeah.
You get thrown to the ground, a camera shoved in your face, and then they're like, all right, here's your bail.
It's $500.
It's like, yeah.
Cops,
I'd take $500 to like pretend to be on Cops.
Oh, definitely.
Well, that's the other part about a lot of those TV shows is that I found out a lot of them are fake.
I know. It's so depressing.
which, like I know some dude that was on the Eric Andre show.
Yeah.
And he was part of a bit. And I guess some of them with that. Well, so the premise of the show is half of it's he's pranking like celebrities, but the other half he's like going on the street and doing all these things with supposedly real people. And I guess some of them are, but then also it's like, wait a minute, you picked him out of a like casting lineup to do. So he knew he was going to get messed with by Eric Andre. So in that sense, it's kind of reality TV, kind of.
Yeah.
Not, I don't know.
Well, it's kind of like Nathan Fielder's show.
Yes.
Where like
which one?
Not The Rehearsal. Oh, I guess also The Rehearsal, but what was the other one? Nathan for You.
Yeah.
But I'm like, the people in that show are so perfect. I'm like, there's no way. There's no fucking way. He just like stumbled across this like cab driver or whatever. You know what I mean?
That's true.
So I don't know. I like to believe it though because it is the perfect show. It is the most funny show that I've ever seen. It's literally the funniest show I've ever seen. I think in my life.
A bunch of overweight people with balloons strapped to them ride horses.
Oh my god!
One of the most unbelievable things I've ever seen in
so
my
good.
life. Is that exploitative? Probably, but
Probably.
I don't know. They signed up for it.
I think my favorite one out of the entire series was when he had that machine like pulling down his pants in front of little kids with the police officer there. That's the funniest fucking thing I've ever seen.
It's the funniest premise for any prank.
So funny.
I to this day I'm like, what would have happened?
Yeah.
What would have happened? There's no way he would have actually like.
No,
it's so funny.
That's the funniest fucking thing I've ever seen. Oh my god, what a great show.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, I don't know how much I would call that reality TV. Like, my version of reality TV is definitely like bimbos screaming at each other.
Yeah.
That's my.
So let's get into it.
That's
the
my
fun
thing.
reality TV where like everybody knows what they're doing.
Yeah.
I would put like Survivor into that. Like you knew what you were signing up for. Rock of Love Bus.
Right.
Like
Why is it on a bus?
I don't know. Wait, what did you know it as?
I just knew it as like.
I know there were spinoffs.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. I think I just knew the regular Rock of Love, which also I love in these I love these love shows where they have to like play a game and they all like fight each other to get a date with Bret Michaels or whatever.
Why?
I know. I know. And he's like, she really wanted a date with me. That's why she tackled Becky to the ground and pulled out her extensions or like whatever.
Would you be on one of those shows? Let's start there.
No, I would not.
Okay.
So actually, it's interesting. I don't know why Mark thinks that this is something that's going to come up a lot in our lives. I don't know why he thinks this, but I think just because I watch so many reality shows, and there is that like summer house program that like Hannah Berner was on.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like it's just sort
Compound
of like
Media has their own house now. If
Do
you
they?
want to like
Oh.
join the alt-right.
Oh boy. No thanks. But I'm good. But Mark literally was like, if you even film, he's like, I don't know where our life's going to take us, okay? But if you film one fucking scene on one of these shows, like divorce papers. Divorce. He was like,
Gotta respect a hard line, though.
Yeah.
That's good communication.
Yeah, because he's like, I just simply will not have you be a cast member on one of these shows where you're just yelling at your friends.
Sure.
And then you go on vacation and you yell at your friends. And then you
He's
guys
like, we have enough money.
Yeah.
We don't.
We do not need you screaming at your friends in Miami, screaming at your friends on a ski trip. Like, I don't need that in my life.
But it would be fun to get paid to yell at my friends because I do it a lot anyway.
Well, I think it's one of these things that it's sort of like people that are in open relationships and they always think it'll work for them.
Yeah.
You know? And
Yes.
like, so like, it's like I would enter something like that being like, oh, well, I'm not dramatic, so this is going to work for me.
Yeah.
And then I would end up just being this like villain that's getting torn apart on social media, whatever the fuck, you know what I mean?
Right. Well, isn't
Yeah.
that like a thing that they, I mean, you would know better than I would, but I'd like seen clips of people that were on these shows talking about they never fed us. They only gave us alcohol. I didn't drink water for like 3 weeks. Like all this. So it's really just like pushing them to the point where they have to snap on each other.
Yeah, right. And like definitely the pushing of alcohol. I've noticed like specifically for Summer House, the show that it's in the Hamptons, a bunch of like people like kind of our age-ish, and they all go out, they share this house in the Hamptons, which by the way, all these people fucking hate each other. I'm like, this whole premise of you guys sharing a house doesn't make any sense. I'm like, why the fuck would you all
wait, what is this summer? Is it comedians or is it
No, it's just it's just like people
just
in
on,
the
like,
city.
Bravo?
It's just like it's on Bravo. It's just like a bunch of like people that, you know, they work regular jobs, like it would be like graphic designer, and they just go out there and like scream at each other. But
great.
Yeah, great. Whatever.
The cheapest TV show to ever make.
Totally. But it's very like Bravo specifically, I think, does not, as far as I've observed anyway, obviously I haven't worked for them, but it seems like they don't like any sort of personal development. Like if somebody gets sober because they're like, oh, I really made an asshole out of myself last season, I'm actually going to try to do this differently. They're like, this is not good television.
No.
So they don't reward good behavior. Or it's like, oh, I'm in a really healthy, stable relationship. Like, let me, protect this a little bit and like not have him on camera so much. They're like, no, you got to bring him in.
Yeah.
And he's got to, be like looking these girls up and down, and then that can be a conflict or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't think they want you to be a happy person.
No, it's the Stanford Prison Experiment.
Yes.
Do you know that one?
Yeah, I do.
Or
yeah.
It's the, I guess for people that don't, like, in like the 70s, something like that, they just, a group of psychologists put a bunch of kids, like high school boys, into this like fake prison, and we're like, all right, these ones are guards and these ones are prisoners.
Yep.
And even though they were in class together, they all knew each other.
Yeah.
By the end of like 3 weeks, the people that were guards were legitimately abusing the prisoners, even though they weren't real criminals. They were like literally acting for an experiment, and they were just supposed to like pretend of this thing, and it only took 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And I don't even know if they were like keeping food from them, or they weren't in the prison the full time. It's not like they lived there. It's just like they would go there for a few hours out of the day.
Yeah, it's insane.
And it just kind of, when you've got like that push from the outside,
right,
that's saying like, no, this is okay to do.
Yeah.
And I think most people secretly want to have an excuse to start screaming at someone who does something slightly wrong to them.
They do. And I think like we see that a lot on, I could talk about this all fucking day long, but I think we see that a lot on Twitter and places like that, where they're like, I'm on the right side, meaning like I'm sanctimonious. I have this in my bio. So therefore I can relentlessly bully someone else because they have a difference of opinion. You know what I mean? Because so they use like, it's like people are just obsessed with power, so they hide behind, these like buzzwords basically. So then they can like viciously tear people down, and it's like, you're still a mean person. Yeah. Even though you think that you're like this fucking martyr or whatever the hell.
Right.
But people just love power. Like you see it all the time in comedy. Someone will do like a fucking, someone like runs a show, and all of a sudden they think that they can like make or break people's careers. And I'm like, let's all take it easy. All right. Yeah. It's like, it's in the back of a pizza restaurant.
Well,
like,
that's, just
run a fun
Done
show.
A few of those. Yeah, no, exactly. Well, it's the old adage, like, managers and club owners are all failed comedians because they just wanted to be around it, but they couldn't cut it. So now they're like, I get to decide who they.
I'm the gatekeeper now.
Can't wait for that to be me someday.
I do love. I mean, I hate the internet for so many reasons, and I think we should just burn it all down and no more social media, and we should all just.
I think we need an internet license.
We do,
It's like, you got to verify who you are. If you get rid of anonymous accounts, you know who doesn't bully people? Someone on LinkedIn.
True.
Because their boss could see it.
Yep.
And that's why there's consequences to these actions where, I don't know, there's a large part of the country that disagrees. They think they should be able to bully people, which fine, I guess.
I don't know. Just let people live their damn lives.
People know what they're getting into at this point. I think, to your point on the left, what's that curve where, like, a little bit about something and that's the smartest you feel about it? Yeah,
the Dunning-Kruger.
Dunning-Kruger, yeah. I think that's where liberals kind of get what you were talking about, that attitude of like, no, I'm right. Yeah. And I blame the Daily. Yes. I think the Daily is the single biggest. The Daily is the New York Times daily podcast that goes 20 minutes
Michael
into
Barbaro.
one. Yeah. my buddy was like, I have the perfect Michael Barbaro impression. I was like, all right, let me hear it. He goes, Yeah. I was like, fuck, that's so good. Everybody knows. Yeah. Everybody knows that's Michael Barbaro.
That's so funny.
That podcast is the biggest I can't think of the
notes.
word. It's just, it puts the most people at the top of the Dunning-Kruger effect of anywhere else. Where every liberal, every person who listens to the Daily every day thinks that they know everything about everything.
So true.
And they fucking don't. At least the right is like, I'm a fucking idiot, but that made me feel this way, so I'm going with that.
Yeah.
Like,
I want to have a beer with that guy.
Yeah, exactly. I don't. No, I can't say that. No, keep going.
Okay.
I'll tell you.
I mean, at this point, honestly, I think anyone who is like completely on either side and not like somewhere in like the middle, floating around and creating and having their own ideas is a fucking idiot. I can say that.
Well, that's like what I was trying to get to with like the hating of reality TV shows and reality TV culture is it's kind of the same thing. It's like pick a team, very tribal. I feel like where it's like I either hate reality TV show or I like it and I hate this person on the show, but I love that person, and it's like I don't. But that's kind of the point of the show, that they make it right so that you have to pick a side. Yeah.
And they do that within the cast, like you said, within the castmates. Like right now in Vanderpump Rules, unless you've been living under a rock.
Me. I don't know what this show is. I don't know the premise. I have like heard the name. I thought it was a show in the 90s that everyone like used to watch like an old sitcom or something like that.
Okay, so I'll give you like a big...
I'm going to need...
Let me give you the cliff
Give
notes.
me the daily version of Vanderpump Rules so I can feel like I know everything about it.
I've been prepping for this my whole life. All right. I'm like, let me crack my knuckles. I got this. Okay, so Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. That was a show, obviously on Bravo, that,
Sure.
a bunch of hot ladies yelling at each other on vacation.
I do know that my boss's cousin is on the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City right now.
No way. What's her name?
Angie Katzenevas, which is also the name
I think she might be
of my Angie K.
Yeah.
Brand new. It's also the name of my boss. Her and her cousin have the same name, and
Weird.
so her Instagram is constantly being blown up by people thinking she is her cousin.
That's so
from
funny.
the show.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's really bizarre that a family would name two people Angie. That's really weird, don't you think?
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't name my son the same as my nephews.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
I should ask her about
like,
that.
My sister took those names. I can't fucking... Right?
I don't know.
That's like really
I guess
weird.
You can't.
I guess I can't.
Give it a shot.
Okay.
See what your sister does.
All right.
Older sister, younger sister?
Older sister.
She would lose her damn
She'd
mind.
be like, what?
You have to do it.
Yeah, I'll just do it.
That would cause so much drama. It'd
That'd
be the
be
most
so
entertaining
funny.
thing ever. All right. We're making a reality TV show.
We are, yeah. Where I just steal everything my sister does.
Yes. All right, Vanderpump Rules.
Okay, Vanderpump
Hit
Rules.
me.
So Real Housewives of Beverly Hills was airing. Lisa Vanderpump was on the show, and she owns a bunch of different restaurants.
Okay.
So she has a wait staff at a restaurant called Sir, Sexy Unique Restaurant.
I think I've heard of it. Yeah.
And one of her waitresses was somebody who had slept with another one of her castmates on Beverly Hills ex-husband.
Okay.
So one of her waitresses literally broke up her friend's marriage. So, yeah.
Okay.
And then
It's a good premise.
Yeah. So then Andy Cohen saw this and was like, well, this is gold.
Yeah.
So then they organized a sit down between Brandy Glanville, who is the wife in the situation, and the mistress, Sheena Shea, who's the waitress at the restaurant. And then they had this big sit down. It was crazy, whatever, blah, blah, blah. They filmed it for cameras. And then immediately after Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, it just immediately opened up into Vanderpump Rules. So that was like how they promoted the show. It's like, obviously this is the same audience. Let's just like roll into this new show.
Keep it going.
And then the premise of the show is that it's like following the lives of the people that work in the restaurant.
Okay.
So it started out as everyone was a bartender or
Very
a server.
relatable.
Yeah.
So many people have worked in restaurants, or even if they've only worked in customer service in general.
Right. That's
crazy. A great idea.
It's a great idea, and like it's LA, so they're all kind of like, trying to be an actress, whatever. They're down to clown. Like they're down.
They're all
for
attractive.
Yeah, they're all hot. And so it started out like first season was very much like everyone was, was like living on a waitress wage, was doing all these things, and then it sort of evolved where then now they have like brand deals, whatever, but like they still were like linked in the show, so they would come into the restaurant and like pretend to bartend. It was like ridiculous. But we've gotten to know these people. And so these people have been on the show. They've had the same core cast members on the show for 10 years, except for like a few of them because they got caught doing racist stuff, as you do.
Whoops.
And then, so they got off the show. But besides that, like the core people have been on the show for 10 fucking years. And one of the couples on the show, Tom and Ariana, Tom is definitely playing for the other team. I'll just say that. But okay. I think she might be too also.
Okay. Hey.
Whatever.
Good couple.
They had bought a house together because they had been together for like 9 years. Okay. So they bought a house together, and he opened up a restaurant called Tom Tom with Lisa Vanderpump. And also this other guy, Tom Schwartz. So that's why it's called Tom Tom. So they put like their mortgage. They did some sort of they put up the equity of their mortgage. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about with this. I'm not an expert in this particular part. But all I know is that they had equity in the house in the restaurant. Okay. And so now it turns out that he's been cheating on her with her really good friend Raquel. And Raquel is her stage name. She's actually Rachel, which is like a whole other thing. But she used to be engaged to this other guy, James Kennedy, who was Tom's best friend. So it's like a whole clusterfuck. And nobody saw it coming, and that's like the scandal right now. So now the house that's in equity and stuff, Ariana's getting fucked with that because she's like, well, now like the bank is going to have the house. Yeah. Because we put up all this equity in your fucking restaurant. Yeah. Because we weren't married, I have no rights to all of this. Like, that's going to be like really sticky to get out of. Okay. And there's like all this crazy drama that's going on with that, with like him hooking up with Raquel. Okay. So
sounds like pretty standard. I think I just set the record for the most amount of time that a man has listened to someone talk about Vanderpump Rules. It sounds like fairly standard, like reality TV show drama. Yes. Right? My question is,
how much is manufactured?
How much is manufactured, but how much of the danger is real? Right? Because the show's got enough money they could put up for the house. True. And also, you know, but how much of it is, but would they? Right. That's what I'm saying.
It's kind of more like interesting if they don't.
The producers of Survivor, like, I could give them this sandwich, but it's pretty fun to watch them try to chop down a coconut. Like,
right. You think that on Survivor specifically, they cut the cameras and gave them a sandwich? I mean, obviously, if someone was going to like fucking die, they would have, like.
I don't think so. Okay. In those, I think early seasons, no. Yeah. Maybe they're not. Yeah. I'll have to. I got a buddy, Drew. Like, he watches and he rewatches them. He's seen every episode of Survivor like 4 times. He would know. I'll have to get him back on.
But you know my co-host of my podcast, Sick Plug, Risque Business News, with Laura Sogar.
I know of her. Yeah.
Okay, so she was an Olympic swimmer, so she's like really fucking athletic, and she was asked to be on Survivor, and the only reason that she couldn't get on the show is because her mom refused to sign a waiver because I guess like one episode they wanted to bring in parents or something, and her mom was like, fuck that, I'm not doing this shit. And Laura was so pissed at her, like she was like, come on, are you serious? And she was like, I'm not doing that, I am not doing that. And then Laura's friend went on the show and it like fucked her up mentally for like years. And so Laura's mom was like, you see, do you fucking see?
Wow. Wait, let's get it. What happened to her friend?
I think she was just like, editing does what editing does. So I think she was just kind of cast as a villain. So she probably just got a bunch of like, she'd be walking down the street and someone would be like, you were a bitch on that. And she's like, I don't fucking know you. I do not know you. Like,
that's still, I feel like people are better about it now, but not attributing someone's real personality to what they see on TV. Yeah. But back like early on, that was like, that's that person. Boston Rob is Boston Rob.
Yes,
like,
exactly.
And it's like, nah, he probably is a pretty normal dude. Right. But they made him kind of this like macho asshole.
Yeah. There was actually, so Sheena Shea, actually, the original mistress of Vanderpump Rules. There was one particular season where she looked really bad, and they kept like cutting these like super cringy moments and like really bad angles on her. And she's a beautiful girl, but like they were making her look very bad. And it turned out that there was one specific editor that just like didn't like her. And I think she tried to like sue them or something.
That's so good.
It's so funny. They just made it like their mission to make her look like an idiot.
Yeah. That would. Really funny. Okay. So back to Vanderpump Rules. You said that they were only getting paid the like waitress wage. Like, how do they get away with that?
I mean, I'm sure that the first season at least it seemed like they were living in like shitty apartments. Like, it was very like whatever. I think that they probably just, the first season, they don't even know if it's going to go to air. So they probably were making like, like $1,000 an episode, something like egregiously low. And then they since obviously have like negotiated, and they probably get paid way more now. So, but it's like one of these. It's like being on like a regular show like Friends. You're like renegotiating your contract.
Always.
I got Matthew Perry on the brain.
There you go.
I cannot stop fucking thinking about Matthew Perry. By the way,
maybe I do need to. I always kind of thought he was an idiot, but maybe I need to.
I mean, he is sort of an idiot, but he's also like, he's on pills the whole fucking time. He's not, he's like trying his best here. He can't put his sentence together.
So what is what makes Vanderpump Rules So good. And in general, like what makes a good reality TV show? Because they've tried so many, and like some of them flop fucking hard.
Yes.
But like, what do they do really well, and like what do you need for these shows?
In my opinion, as an expert reality show watcher, at least kind of. I think that the ensemble cast has to be genuine friends in real life first. So sometimes
when it falls apart, it really hurts.
Yes, it really hurts, and there's like serious emotion. You know what I mean? So like if they were to do like a reality show on my life, it would be like me, Laura, like Kelly, Taylor, Claire Alexander, like people like we all like know each other already. We already have these existing relationships and a history together.
Sure.
So I think that's really important.
Who would
and
you stab in the back first out of that group? Don't answer that. I'm kidding. I know all these people too.
Claire. I'm just kidding.
All right, and we will have Claire on the podcast next week to respond.
But no, I definitely think like that's what makes it interesting, because it was very like genuine relationships. Like the people that got fired for doing the racist stuff, they called the cops on a black person is what the racist stuff was. But anyway, whatever. Okay. And so anyway, so this girl, Stassi, talked about it in her book, which I really embarrassingly read. But anyway, she talked about it where she was like, people are shocked to hear that I still hang out with everyone on Vanderpump. And she was like, we are friends. Like we're genuinely friends. So that'd be like hanging out with someone for 8 years and then you get fired from your job and you don't hang out with them anymore. She's like, I just don't film with them anymore. But people think that it's manufactured, and it's really not. I think all the Real Housewives franchises that have been successful, that's also the same thing, where they have like really long backstories with each other. Their kids like played on the same sports team, stuff like that. Because now they're trying to do these ensemble casts. Like they did, I think it actually flopped already. It hasn't even been released yet, but they did one in New York where they just like put this hodgepodge of women together. And apparently it's like not even being released. It's so bad. Because these people are like getting to know each other on screen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You got to already have some sort of alliance, and you got to be like, what do you think about her? Like, I don't know, like we didn't like her at the dinner party 5 years ago or whatever the fuck.
Right.
So.
Okay. But then you've got the reality TV shows like Love is Blind, where the whole point is that nobody knows anyone else.
That one doesn't really do it for me.
I watched the first part when it was blind because I was like, oh, this is a weird psychological experiment, like who ends up as who. And then as soon as they got to the house, it just turned into regular reality TV show. And I was like, yeah, all right, I'm out. But I like the first few episodes.
The first few episodes when they see each other for the first time, that's interesting.
Right.
Have you been watching the latest one?
No.
Okay. Dang. There's one.
Sorry.
Yeah. There's one girl, Irina, who sucks. And they broke up already, but she was with this guy, Zach, who was like the coolest, quirkiest, best looking one on the show, in my opinion. And then, but she's like wicked fucking mean to him. And then on social media, everyone's like talking about how weird he is. And I'm like, do I spend too much time with comedians? Because I'm like,
yes.
I think he might be like, I don't know, like super fucking weird and eccentric. And I'm like, this is a funny guy. I like this guy. He's like awkward.
No, I think, I think the fact that we're both with comedians says that like normal people, because like a normal person couldn't like, I don't think I've tried dating very normal people before, and they're just like confused by
everything.
And there
is nothing worse than,
I could make it work, but like it's way more fun to like be weird with the person
weird
that you're with,
and have somebody and you're weird.
Yes,
and have like a back and forth rat tat tat. Like when things go over people's heads, woo. I can't deal with it.
Wait, what are you talking about?
Like when you're on a date and you say, I'm an idiot. Now that went over my fucking head.
Come on, man.
I got to step up my game.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. I dated this guy for a little while, and like he would just miss so many things. And I was like, I can't deal with it. You're missing half the show.
I know, right?
Like, this is insane. Yeah. Anyway, I hope he's well.
Right.
I've like brought up
this guy on Love is Blind, it's just she let him go, and that's so like when you're on those shows, obviously you've never been on the show, but like I feel like most people do go into it thinking like, oh, I will find at least a relationship. Maybe I'm not gonna have a marriage. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's full just fatalist.
Yeah,
like I'm not doing it, but just reading their like body language, it did feel like they were actually excited to like
it did
get
yeah.
to know these people.
And I think these people are bad actors, so I don't think that they would be able to.
They're horrible.
They're the worst actors
they
I've ever seen.
obviously are not good at fooling each other. Like they freak out on each other all the time.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that it's I think that show might actually be sort of genuine, like that Deepti girl from last season, or maybe the season before, or whatever. But like she seemed really genuine. Everyone was like super on board. I don't know. Yeah, I mean that is definitely a weird one. I think that's such an interesting premise. The Love is Blind, but I wish they would do it with ugly people because everyone on the show was wicked hot.
Isn't that The Circle?
No, The Circle is like a social media challenge where you're trying to be the most popular one in the room. It's the weirdest fucking thing. I do not give a shit about that one. I don't like Here's my thing. I don't like a strategy game. I like when there's an ensemble cast that hates each other. You're
all about the social game.
Yeah.
Not the physical, not the mental, but the social game.
Classic caddy. Okay. You know what else I like? So this is a hard pivot away from the caddy. Have you ever seen Naked and Afraid?
Yes.
Very good.
That one I have seen.
I can't believe that there hasn't been one couple that, or like one pairing or whatever the fuck, that hasn't fucked.
I can't believe they don't put that shit on HBO.
Yeah.
Because I would be much more likely to watch it.
So true.
Why are they putting it on a channel where it's fucking blurry and they can't swear? I want to see them. You know they're swearing 100% of the time.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Like they bleep it.
Yeah.
And they're probably leaving out a lot of the parts that they would have had to just bleep the whole thing because it makes bad TV.
I would be out so fast.
So fast.
I would get one mosquito bite and be like, I can't do this. We're done. We're done here. I can't do this. That's a crazy show. Also, have you seen Alone?
I have seen like the ad for it.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy show.
Those ones I'm kind of like, so I've listened to a podcast with someone that was on Naked and Afraid, and this was a woman super badass, but her main job is running the Iditarod in Alaska with her dogs.
Oh
where
my
it's
God,
essentially
cool.
Naked and Afraid, but you have clothes and dogs and you're in Alaska.
Yeah.
And so she was talking about it, and she was talking about how fucking hard it is.
Yeah.
But they like asked her, do you want to do this show? And that to me is like the perfect, getting back to what we were talking about. She knew what she was getting into.
Right.
Like, she's this badass. She does all this. She did it because she was like, this is going to be like a fun adventure. I know it's going to suck, but I also want to push myself. And actually, like, the more we talk, the more I'm like, all these people that signed up for Love is Blind, like, knew they could potentially get portrayed as a piece of shit.
Oh, for sure. I think it's interesting to me. Like, I feel like if I was on The Bachelorette, and I was the Bachelorette, and like all these...
We haven't even talked about the biggest one.
Oh, yeah, that's the biggest one. But if I was the Bachelorette and some guy was like, oh, I'm here for love, I'd be like, okay, you should have said fame because that's fucking embarrassing.
Yeah, right.
Like, you know what I mean? I'd be like, could understand that if you were on the show being like, listen, I have a fucking Pilates studio and I'm trying to promote it. Like, you know?
That's where I want to see an ugly person. Make the Bachelor or the Bachelorette like a really ugly person. See how many people... Like, would their effort change? Would their like attitude change? And I'm not talking like
they just
hideous,
they would
like
keep
they're missing
them around.
limbs or something like that. But just like, you know, your run of the mill fucking woman from the Midwest.
Right.
Like, I kind of want to see what would happen.
Like here's a concept: a woman that has never had Botox. What's that look like? What's that even look like? I guess
if they're like 22 or 23, maybe that would. How old are the people on The Bachelor?
It depends. Actually, some of them are like 23, and it's like, you're trying to get married? What are you, insane?
Well, I don't know. Depends which part of the country they're from.
Yeah, I guess
Ring by spring.
That's true. Yeah. That is insane. Imagine graduating college and being like, I'm engaged.
I
would be like if my daughter came home and said that, I would be like, what?
Yeah, but you grew up on the East Coast.
Yeah.
That was like, I'm not going to lie, that was my plan in college. Was just like, because that's what I saw. That's what you did. Like, my dad started dating my mom freshman year of college, and then they got married my dad's senior year. He didn't even make it out of college. So I was like, that's just what you do.
So he
and
gave
now
her
I'm
the
like
ring.
Very glad, because I've only gotten more attractive as I've gotten older, and I'm like, I just needed to be patient over here.
Well, also, you have no fucking idea who you are until you're like,
no, I know.
Legitimately, you're frontal lobe or whatever they say isn't formed yet. It's
but
like
that's
crazy.
in that way. I'm kind of like, well, getting married from The Bachelor is kind of the perfect thing to do because you can get divorced and everyone's like, yeah, of course they got divorced.
Yeah, that's true.
She met him on The Bachelor.
Right. That makes a lot of sense.
I'm with you, and I think we were talking about it actually. It's just like I think our generation's not going to get divorced at nearly as high of a rate because we are being patient.
Yes.
We're like, all right, let me figure out who this piece of shit is.
Yeah.
Let me figure out who I am as a piece of shit and see if these two pieces of shit can work together
pretty much
for the next 40 years. And you're not surprised by anything, you know?
Right. And also, I mean, by the time people are getting married, like, I'm like tired. I'm like, you know what I mean? Like if someone was like, oh, you can have a hall pass and like go out on a date with a guy, I would be like, I don't wanna.
Yeah.
I don't wanna go talk to some fucking guy over an appetizers. I wanna talk to Mark. You know what I mean? Like,
it's a crazy thing he thought of today.
Yeah,
while
exactly.
he's sitting around doing nothing.
Right. Like I don't have any interest in that whatsoever. Like it's exhausting. Like dating and meeting people sounds horrible.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Well, I guess that's why people go on shows.
Yeah.
They're just like, fuck it.
Let's just go
what
for
are
it.
the odds? It's just a long hinge date.
Yeah.
A hinge date that never ends.
Oh my God.
But comes with fame.
Becomes with fame. So you know what? That's good. We've been talking for 2 months or what?
No. I
1
mean,
hour.
we're at the hour mark.
Okay.
If you had anything else that you wanted to wrap up on, we could do that.
I'm trying to think about if you had to pick one show to be on, which one would you be on?
Okay. So the reality TV shows, I said at the beginning I don't really watch it. I realized halfway through. The ones that I watch currently are the sports reality TV shows. Mm-hmm. So like the Drive to Survive, like the F1 reality show.
Okay.
There's a new golf one that I haven't watched, but I'm sure would be good. There's like Hard Knocks with football. And that's what it is. It's reality TV on top of sports. And it is funny watching the athletes, like, because they all watch the show.
Yeah.
And they're like, wow, they made you look like a dick.
Right.
And it's like, and you hear that in the show, and I'll give the show props for that.
That is cool.
But there was one racer in the Formula One reality show that was like, I'm not doing it this year. You guys make me look like an asshole, so I'm just not doing it.
Right.
And I'll live off my $20 million a year.
Right.
I don't need to be a piece of this show.
Yeah.
And he finally came back, and they're being way nicer to him. So I'm like, he's manipulating the show, and it's way less interesting now.
Yeah, it's like the worst show ever now.
So I guess I would say, like, I'd rather do like Hard Knocks or that, but I'd have to be a professional athlete. I feel like an average person, I don't know, man. They've just never really appealed. Maybe Survivor, I think, would be the most fun.
Yeah, that would be fun.
Or like any of those like nature ones. The ones where it's just like, all right, it's Game of Thrones in the summer house. I'm like, fuck that. I am way too like
grown.
My attitude, grown.
Yeah.
But just I don't put up with bullshit, which I guess is another angle that they would want, because then that would start a lot of fights with people that are passive aggressive.
Right.
So it's
and
maybe
also,
I do want to join one of those.
Maybe
house
you
shows.
do, yeah. You could be that voice of reason, and then they all get mad at you for not being mad at the thing that they're mad at.
So fucking fast.
That's true.
So fast.
Yeah.
No, it's kind of what I don't like watching The Bachelor. I'm watching. I was like, I don't think I'd get along with any of you people.
No. I would be
Survivor,
like, you're very
at least,
hot.
Yeah.
That's where it ends.
Right. Survivor, at least I'm like, all right, you're a weird, outdoorsy, crunchy weirdo. I could have a conversation with you.
Yeah.
Where it's like I've realized the people I like having conversations with the most are all depressed because they've got the most interesting thoughts. Yeah. Because they think about things in a weird way, and it makes them sad, but also it's like entertaining. So am I exploiting depressed people? I don't know. I'm currently thinking about that.
Look at that.
In the shower.
Yeah, go for it.
I don't know. I'll go with Survivor, like Naked and Afraid. I would do that over like a summer house.
Yeah.
What's the one that's like a Big Brother?
Oh, yeah,
That one kind of sounds like fun.
Yeah.
Because there's challenges.
There's challenges.
Give me a challenge. I love a challenge.
Yeah, I do like it's like an escape room.
Oh, I suck at escape
I've never
rooms.
even tried it before.
So bad. You should.
Yeah.
They are fun, but I'm awful at them.
I'm really bad at puzzles. They make me feel I feel so stupid. Me and my mom once.
All right, so we need to go and we need to film it, make it a show.
So one time, me and my mom, she came to visit, and she was like, "Oh, I heard about this thing. You can do like a scavenger hunt at the Met." And I was like, "Sure." So we go to the fucking scavenger hunt. You're supposed to like look at a picture and figure out some like riddle from it or whatever. And we got back
awful at riddles too.
So bad. We got back to the group. I swear we came in last, I think. And then me and my mom were so like bummed out about it. We went to like dinner afterwards. We were like, "Are we stupid?" I think we're both very stupid.
We did an escape room for my job, had like this offsite, and so it was like we broke into 5 teams. They're like, all right, every team, we're all employees of the company, had
You're
to
like
do this
the
escape
engineer
room
at the company.
I do data, like
Oh,
I'm
no.
supposed to be one of the smart people, and our team like didn't even come fucking close. They gave us like 12 hints. We needed a hint for every single thing. We still didn't make it out. Only team did not make it out.
That's so
and
funny.
Everyone was like, man, we should lower these guys' pay. They're really bad. And I want to be like, no, I knew what I was doing. Everyone else is fucking stupid. I was a drain. I was like actively telling people, no, I looked there. And it was didn't look there well enough. It's not good. It's so bad. I hate them.
Yeah, no.
They are fun though.
They are fun, but they do make you feel you're like, something is wrong with my brain.
I need
This
that
is
every once in a while. I need something to knock me down.
I don't know.
All right. Well, we got off topic at the end there. Where
This
can
is
people where could people find you?
I have
shows, Instagram.
So I have a podcast called Risque Business News. Go ahead and pop over there. It's me and Laura Sogar. We talk about business scandals primarily, but also just like wacky business stuff from the news.
Okay.
It's a lot of fun. We have guests. We have like listener tales, all that kind of stuff. And then you can catch me at the Tiny Cupboard every Saturday at a show called Borscht. It's at 5:30, so it's kind of like a matinee. You can go out to dinner afterwards. It's really fun.
Those are the fun ones.
Yeah.
You like get a beer, and that's like the start of your night.
Yeah, and you're just chilling.
Get out there in a good mood.
Actually, lately we've had really big crowds, which has been fantastic. Yeah.
That's awesome.
I know. It's really great. And then you can find me on Instagram at May_Planert. I do not have a Twitter because I don't want to fucking kill myself, and I don't really use TikTok. So catch me those places.
You use TikTok?
I mean, I watch TikTok.
Yeah,
I don't
different.
I don't proactively put anything on TikTok. So you can go there and check out a post from April of last year if you're interested. And that's where you can catch me.
Is it just Greg, your cat?
Yeah, I actually do have one of Greg, and it looks, and I'm so bad because there's a big learning curve with TikTok. So I put it up, and it looks like a Russian bot did it. It's like him in a bunch of colors, and it's like I'll show you after this.
Yeah, I'm gonna need to see this.
Yeah,
I'm gonna guess it looks like something a 60-year-old would put out there, trying to like figure what is this app? This is what the kids are doing? I don't get it.
I'll show you.
Okay.
I'm in.
Great. Follow me at Corey T Comedy on all social media, and come to a comedy show every single week at Ferns in the East Village. May's done it a couple times.
Yeah, it's a great show.
If anyone who sees this podcast is in New York City and has come into the show and wants to see May on the show, shoot me a message on Instagram. Tell us what show you're going to, and we'll get her booked for that one.
Hell yeah.
Cool. Let's do this again soon.
Yes. Bye.